Hi, my name is Farida, and I talk about living a life of ease through remote work and travel. If that sounds like something that's interesting to you, please like, comment, and subscribe. So today I'm going to be talking about remote work for women over 40. All right, so number one, I have to talk about the flexibility. So, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a mother in law, it is so important for me to be able to have a flexible schedule. So, I currently work about 30 hours during the week, like the standard work week, and then 10 of those hours are outside of the standard work week. So, for example, I might work a little bit on a Saturday, I might work a little bit after 5 p.m., but the flexibility in that allows me to be able to take my kids to school, be able to pick up my grandson and watch him and take care of him when my daughter goes to work or has an appointment or has to do something. It's just really nice to be able to have that flexibility. I really like to focus on my Duolingo language learning. Have I learned a language through Duolingo? No. But for me, as a woman getting older, it keeps my brain sharp. I switch to chess or different languages. Right now, I'm looking at Japanese. So I'm learning how to, say some words and to be able to just go on a walk, pull up my Duolingo, and get an activity done. So it's very, very important to me. I like to read my Quran every day and get, a couple ayahs in so I can listen, recite, and reflect. So that's also something that's super important to me as well. So the flexibility allows me to go on my walks. It allows me to sleep in and get my rest when I am not feeling well. I lie in bed, get my heating pad, and just relax, rest, order my favorite drink or matcha or hot coffee, and just, go with how I'm feeling. Sometimes I'm super energetic and I get so much done in a day. And then sometimes I might get one thing accomplished and I'm in the bed resting and rejuvenating and just, feeling my feels or crying. And I love that. I love that flexibility. Another thing is that I love as a woman over 40 is that reduced commute. Because before I worked remote, solely remote, I always had a little part-time remote thing going on for so long, but it was never my main hustle. But before I solely went remote, I, was fighting traffic. As a teacher, you all know the struggle when you are trying to get in by 7:20, 7:30, so that you can do that carpool lane or your morning duties, morning assembly, and that traffic is especially bad during that time. So I'm just so thankful that I forget about rush hour. I was on the way to pick up my grandson, my little Popo, and I was like, what in the heck is going on this morning? There are so many cars on the street. Why? And I just realized, oh my gosh, it is a Thursday morning. Of course, it's going to be crazy. And you really just forget about things like rush hour and sitting in that car for 45 minutes trying to get somewhere that should be 20 minutes away. So that is a huge, huge benefit. The next benefit is that work-life balance. I really, really enjoy being able to take off and have some times where I'm not even logging in at home to just go for a walk or have a staycation or go visit my mother or my grandmother and be with them and be in, fellowship with my family and my friends. So even sometimes where I just don't even want to be around anyone because As a woman over 40, you know that you are pouring into your family, you're pouring into your friends, you're pouring into your children, your grandchildren if you have. You're pouring into everyone, and sometimes you just have to have that time off to pour into yourself and be selfish and really just give yourself what you need. Sometimes I take these long social media fasts where I just get away from it all and just focus on myself, meditate, read my favorite books, read Quran, listen to my favorite podcasts, and just give to me, treat myself to a delicious meal, give myself a healthy walk. So all these things are super, super important. So even if I'm not traveling, I'm not out of the country, I'm definitely still using that time to pour into myself. I love the autonomy that remote work usually gives me. Not all companies are the same, and some are more big brother-ish than others, but I love the fact that I can log in at 9, do some work, make some calls, log out, go for a walk. I have this favorite coffee shop near my house called Liberation Coffee, and I just know the people there. I know the barista, and it's just fun, taking that 2-mile walk to my coffee shop. And they're like, oh, you're regular, or do you want to try something new? And just getting that coffee and sitting down for a little while, talking to my neighbors, the people in my community, and then walking back and then logging back in. I love that autonomy that I set my schedule, I set my pace, and what do I need to do today? So Wednesdays might be outreach, Thursdays might be clerical duties, and then Friday, because it's my, holy day, take it off. So I just love that autonomy. I set my schedule, and if the schedule no longer works, I go in, talk with my manager, set a new schedule. And I really, really love that. There's so much access to opportunity with remote work. I am loving the fact that the remote job that I have now, they're always posting in, the hub, your HR hub. We've got this opportunity available and we think it's going to suit your needs. This is the duties. These are the job requirements. This is the salary. And it's like, wow, you want me to succeed. You want me to move up in the company. You value me in that way. And that just makes you want to work harder because you're like, oh, okay, you don't want me, making peanuts for the rest of my life. I've seen that you've allowed me to interview and I moved up to the middle level. And now they want to foster leadership. And so they want you to move up to the next level, and sometimes you really don't want to move up to that next level, but because sometimes you just really like where you are in the middle, just sliding and gliding in the middle. But yeah, I really, really love how they are very clear, very transparent with your opportunities to make a lateral move or even move up. So very grateful for that, because at first I was, in scoring and evaluation. And while I love the autonomy, there was no human interaction with the students. And I really, really craved that as a teacher of over 20 years. You really do like interacting with the students. And, seeing them accomplish those goals is awesome. Yes, I really enjoy that. Also, it's a comfortable environment. What's more comfortable than your home? You're surrounded by your paintings, your pets, your kids, your loved ones. So it doesn't get any better than that. And if the environment's not comfortable, you can change it. If it's too cold, you can turn off the AC. If it's not breezy enough, you can turn on a fan. If it's too dark, open a window. So that's the beauty of, being in control of your environment. You can make it what you want it to be. Also, you can hone your skills. As a woman over 40, it's very important to me to never stop learning. I want to take that coaching opportunity that my job presents. It's not a chore to me. I want to be constantly learning. I'm always signing up and registering for something new to learn, whether it's Scrum or Salesforce or, instructional design. And yes, sometimes I can't juggle it all and I have to let something go. But just the act of constantly learning, developing your skills. I want to be a better coach. I want to be a better counselor. So anything that's professional development related in that field, I try to grab it because these are transferable skills. We don't know what's going to happen with our jobs in the future. We don't know. We don't know anything for certain, especially the way things are going now in this country politically. But what we do know is that no one can take my skills away from me. No one can take what I learned, whether it's a degree, a certificate, whether it is just a knowledge of how to communicate better. That is something no one can take away from me, and I can use it professionally and in my personal life. And then finally, the health benefits. The health benefits to working remotely over 40 are just wonderful. Again, if I'm not feeling well, I can rest. I can flex my time. Hey, I'm going to get a full body checkup today and it's going to take 4 hours. I will flex those 4 hours and make them up on another day. It is so cool. I remember being very, very ill at work and just being, scared that they would have to call the ambulance. And they actually did. I think I had like some gallstones or something, and I was literally just sprawled out on the floor, and the ambulance had to come and get me. And it was embarrassing. It was stressful. And when you are in your own home, your own environment, your health, your mental health, your physical health really improves. Not to mention, I work for an awesome company. They have, mental health services. They have great insurance benefits. They really do a great job of taking care of their employees. So it is awesome working for a company that cares. Okay, those are my reasons why I think it's a wonderful idea to work from home. As a woman over 40, we've got a lot going on. We've got a lot of priorities, and work should not be the center of your life. Don't center labor, because these companies, they will find someone to replace you the second after you're no longer here. So center yourself, center your well-being, and that makes for a great place to work. So I hope you enjoyed this video. For more videos about remote work, companies, ultimate guides, please check out my playlist for working remote so that you can find other ideas and opportunities that you can do, whether you have a small child or a grandchild, or you have a spouse that is ill or sick, chronically, that you're taking care of, a parent you're taking care of. Remote work can really be the solution for you to be able to juggle your responsibilities and also do something you love that's earning an income and, giving back to yourself. I hope you like this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and have a great day. I've had a lot of great adventures in my life. The trips that have touched my soul the most, the ones I've taken with my loved ones and closest friends. Now it's your turn. Join Sisters on the Lake for an unforgettable week of connection, reflection, and adventure.